Bonjour les étudiants! All right, so it's time for le semaine. It's vendu, isn't it already? Goodness gracious. Well, anyways, here's the usual video to get you caught up on everything that's going on. And since, of course, you haven't seen her in a little while, unfortunately, she's sleeping right now, but I can take the webcam and show you little Miss Gemma. Oh, there we go. I was caught. See, she's taking a nap right over there. So she's doing good. We're both doing good. So anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with everything we're doing for this week. So this week we're going to talk about something très important, which is les repas. Now, les repas is the word that the French use for meals. So this time we're going to learn all about food and how to talk about food. And Gemma loves the idea of food right now. So I have these on the ELC so that way you can easily check out all of the different vocabulary. But what I've done is kind of broken everything up according to what it is and when you eat it. So, and I found all of these things on Pinterest. Oh my goodness, I was so happy when they started popping up. So the first one we have is le petit déjeuner. Le petit déjeuner is breakfast. So these are the kinds of things that the French eat for le petit déjeuner. As you can see, some of them are very familiar things, and some of them are not so much, like kippers, les kippers. Yeah, I'm not really into that. And notice that French toast is not le pain français or anything, it's le pain perdu. So there you go. So anyways, and then of course you have le petit déjeuner anglais, which is the kind of stuff that we're used to besides the tomato. I gotta be honest, in black pudding, I don't even know what that is. I don't think I want to know what that is. Yeah, and the only time I've had tomato was on a cruise ship, and that was très intéressant. I mean, it wasn't bad, but you know. So anyways, if you want, you can check these out on the ELC separately, so that way you can get a good feel for the different kinds of food that you like to eat. But remember, this is le petit déjeuner. So let's try saying that together. Le petit déjeuner. So remember, no R. Le petit déjeuner. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about with le repas is le pain. Now, le pain is bread. So for those of you who love bread, this is your slide, guys. All kinds of different bread. Again, it's on the ELC, so you can check out all of the different vocabulary, get familiar with the things that it is that you like to eat best. But yeah, seriously, so much fun. And you like how bagels, they're not bagels, le bagel or anything like that. They're le petit pain américain. So the little bread American. Cute, right? Next up we have les fruits. Les fruits. Said very similarly to how we say it en anglais. And you'll notice that a lot of these things are actually very much like they are in English. So you have l'orange and le clémentine and le tangelo, which I think is just a tangelo. I don't know what else it would be, so it looks weird though. Le citron vert, le citron, les kumquats, which is just a lot of fun to say. So anyways, les fruits. Now, obviously that's not tous les fruits, so we have les fraises, le myrtille, and what are some other ones? Le framboise. I'm sorry, you get to say the S. Framboise. Notice we have the E here. Le melon. Notice that les raisins, it's grapes, but they call them raisins. It's pretty funny. So, anyways, there's a quick overview of that. And we have un peu plus, fruit, some more fruit. You'll notice that some of these are repeats again, but they are, you know, I wanted to make sure to cover everything that you could possibly potentially want. Here's une tomate, tomato, because remember, tomato is actually a fruit, even though you would never put it in fruit salad. That would be so nasty. Yeah, so une pomme, in case you haven't seen that before. and la banane. So yeah, all kinds of cool ones. Now, of course, you can't just have les fruits toujours. We also have les légumes. Les légumes. And these are some vegetables. Now, we're going to start with these ones. There will be more of these, obviously. And as you can see, on peut are actually more in the les fruits category. But, you know, c'est la vie. All right, salad lovers, this is your page. The laitue, the lettuce, the broccoli, the choux, the cabbage, all of that great stuff. Now, there is one I wanted to make sure you saw. It cracks me up. It is kale, le chou fusil. And I believe that we talked about this one in class the other day. But yeah, it just cracks me up, le chou fusil. Now, I've noticed just now that we actually skipped a meal. We have obviously the usual 3 meals. So you have le petit déjeuner, then lunch is le déjeuner, so you take off the petit and it's le déjeuner, and then you have le dîner. And le dîner, of course, is dinner. So here are some of the different vocabulary that you use with dîner. So, So you have all kinds of different things here. Le pâte, if you like pasta. For those of you who like salad, le salade verte. That distinguishes that it's a green salad as opposed to a different one. Or le salade composé, which is tossed salad. Le riz. All kinds of different delicious things. For those of you who love to have breakfast, le petit déjeuner. For le dîner, you can have l'omelette, things like that. And if you go to Quebec, la tortilla. Oh my goodness gracious, you totally have to try it if you ever go there. C'est fantastique. Now, there also is a meal that they eat en français, which is le goûter, and it looks like this. Obviously, this is a plural version, but le goûter, and le goûter is a snack. Typically, they have theirs at like 4 o'clock-ish. But these are some of the things that we have for le goûter aux États-Unis in the United States. So these are different kinds of nuts and dried fruit. So, you know, sometimes you're on the go and you're like, I just want la date, a date. Then you know how to say it now, la date. So, yeah, these are some of the different things that they have as far as that goes. Now, going back a little bit, we have la viande. La viande, there you go, is the different kinds of meats that they have. So you notice le beefsteak, and we have la dinde, which is turkey, la poulet, le canard, let's see, la filet, la rumstick, all these kinds of things. And one of the things that you're going to notice that's really cool about French food is that you'll notice that there are some similarities to English. And that is because of the Normans in 1066 when they came over. The words that they used for food, like ham, you'll notice is jambon. But still, you can kind of see where they got ham out of that. And le boeuf, and like I said before, le poulet, poultry, things like that, all actually come from French. So when they brought their language over, we ended up adopting those words for when we were talking about our food, because of course the French were the upper class once they took over back then in the Norman invasion. So anyways, interesting fact. All right, for my seafood lovers, les poissons. Les poissons, all kinds of different fish. And there are tons and tons to choose from ici. For those of you who like it, les saumons. Notice that there's no L, but we don't say the L anyways. You don't say salmon, you say salmon. So, les saumons, les thons, les truites. For those of you who like swordfish, l'espadon, le sole, which is a sole fish, le merlan, which is whiting, things like that. So all kinds, beaucoup. And of course, you can't talk about food without talking about le pizza. So I don't know how many of you, this is your favorite thing. This is one of my favorite things. I adore pizza. So you'll notice that they call it le pizza because of course we borrow it from Italian. So they just add le, the masculine form, and go for it. And then we have some of the typical toppings listed here. So you have du jambon, des olives vertes, or des olives noires. That's more my kind of gig there. Des tomates, du pepperoni, du fromage, the cheese, oh my goodness. All the different things that you can add to un pizza. All right, so now that you're basically in a food coma from all of the different foods, and of course, you know that's not the exhaustive list. There are beaucoup d'aliments, and aliment is a word that they use for food, and la nourriture, things like that. But yeah, there's all kinds of different food that you can learn. So I would encourage you, find your favorite food and start learning how to say it, because it's a lot of fun. But anyways, these are two important words that we use en français when we're talking about food. So we have prendre, and boire, These two words are used frequently whenever you're talking about food. Now, obviously, manger, which looks like this, is a common one as well, and that literally means to eat. But you don't use it quite as often as you would necessarily think. So prendre is what they use when they're talking about eating meals, but we'll talk about that in a second. And then boire, of course, is to drink. Now you'll notice that both of these are a little bit irregular. I know, more irregulars, but the good news is that when we talk about irregulars, they're most of the irregulars. So there actually is a lot more regulars than irregulars, so you can be thankful for that. Anyways, you'll notice that since this one, prendre, is an RE verb, they're going to conjugate the normal way, except for when we get down here. So it's je prends, tu prends, il prend, and then you'll notice that we take out the D after that. And you might be wondering why. Well, the reason is it kind of sounds funny. Nous prendons. Yeah, they don't like that. So it's nous prenons, vous prenez, il prend. Now you'll notice this one and this one do sound the same, but the spelling is different. And notice that there's deux N's, not just one in this case. So let's practice saying them again. Je prends, tu prends, il prend, nous prenons, vous prenez, il prend. There you go. So, and of course, if you want to practice that again, you can just rewind the video and do it again. So I guess you don't technically rewind. Anyways, you know what I mean. So let's move on to boire. Now this one is fun to say, and actually my first French class used to take this and be like, je bois, and it was really funny. So yeah, anyways, if you want a good laugh, je bois. I don't know. It was always funny. Okay, so je bois, tu bois, il boit, nous buvons, vous buvez, ils boivent. So you'll notice this one sounds distinctly different from this for a change, which is excellent. And of course, you'll notice that we have the BUV, and then it's almost like il can't decide. It's like, I want to do the wa like up here, but on the same token, I want the V. So I'm going to do both. It really makes it interesting. So let's go ahead and practice them again. It's je bois, tu bois, il boit, nous buvons, vous buvez, ils boivent. And let's talk about how to use these two. Boire is a little bit, straightforward, but prendre kind of seems a little strange at first glance. After all, you'd think it'd be manger, which is literally to eat. However, think about whenever we're talking about eating in English. You don't always say, I'm going to go eat a sandwich now. A lot of times you say, I'm going to have a sandwich, or I'll have a salad, please, or things like that. Well, in French, instead of saying have, which of course is avoir, and the conjugations of that, they say they're going to take a salad or take a meal. So you'll notice that's exactly what we have going on here. So je prends un salade. I'm having a salad instead of, I'm eating a salad. Or je prends le déjeuner. I'm having lunch. So whenever they're talking about specific things that they're eating, or especially with meals, you never say that you're going to eat a meal. You always say you're having a meal, or you're literally taking a meal. So that's how they typically use that. Might seem a little bit strange, but I promise it's the right way. Now with boire, it's going to be really straightforward. So, par exemple, tu bois de l'eau minérale. You're drinking mineral water. There you go. Voila. Or, il boit de la boisson gazeux. He's drinking a soft drink. So, you'll notice you use it the same way that you would en anglais. Now, there's a couple of other verbs that are similar to prendre as far as how they're conjugated, which means that they do the double N thing, or they drop the D at different times. And you'll notice that these are apprendre, which is to learn, which can also mean to teach, but we'll get there in a second, and comprendre, to understand. So, je comprends, I understand. There you go. So, when it comes to apprendre, this one's cool because you can use it in a couple of different ways. If it's if an infinitive follows it, and you add a, it means that you're learning to do something. So, vous apprendrez à skier. So, you're learning to ski. See how that works? Pretty cool, right? Kind of like we would do en anglais. You can also use it to mean to teach. So, you put an a before the person who is being taught. So, since I teach you guys French, or in this case, Madame Bush teaches you some French too, you would use a in front, or I would use a in front of you guys, la classe, because you're the people that we are teaching. So, par exemple, j'apprends le français à la classe. I teach French to the class. And notice, of course, that means to teach because we have à la classe, at the class. If it's something being taught, or if the thing being taught is a verb, then you can put a in front of the verb. So if you teach the class, I teach the class to speak French, then I would say je prends à la classe à parler français. So notice it's kind of following this and this at the same time. So, c'est chouette. All right, so final thing, a few common expressions with prendre. So, prendre du temps, to take a long time. So, par exemple, sometimes it takes Gemma a long time to go to sleep, like last night. So, we could say, elle prend du temps à dormir. She takes a long time to go to sleep. You can also do prendre son temps, which is to take one's time. So sometimes, Monty, he takes his time. So il prend son temps à manger. He takes his time to eat. You can also prendre un repas, which is what we talked about earlier. So an example of that is ici. So, je prends le petit déjeuner, or if we are eating it together, nous prenons le petit déjeuner. So, that is basically everything that you need to know when it comes to les repas, all the wonderful food that you can eat and things that you can do with food. So anyways, if you have les questions, if there's anything I can do, just let me know, and I will see you guys soon. Au revoir!